Okay, we have our Toro CCR3650 here. That, for one, our pull cord broke at the end and it went back inside the unit there. And we took that all apart and got it out. We're ready to tighten that all back up. This is the abbreviated version of everything. So you can see what the CCR3650 looks like inside. I chose not to disconnect the fuel tank and just propped it in there. The next thing we're going to do is put that in there. We also have a bad, we couldn't start this because both the pull cord and you can see here is the starter and this is the gear. So we are going to replace this gear as well, so hopefully we will have both kinds of starting, both electric and pull, then working. We've already replaced the paddles in the front and the scraper bar, and we were hoping that was everything that we needed, but then we had problems starting, so now we're fixing it all. My first key is don't tighten these up yet when you're trying to put in the fuel tank holder in here, because you've got to, everything has to be able to move around before you tighten everything up. Very happy to be able to connect the fuel tank again. This actually there's a hole in the end here that fits on that little stud sticking out. So we put that on there. There it is, and then it fits right on there. And then we have the two bolts that hold it into place, and then that will be held in place. Good. Alright, so this is the handle. So this little piece goes in there, and we're going to tie a knot that's going to go in there. We've got that going all the way through the, I'm going to call it an escutcheon, otherwise known as this little panel, back panel, whatever. So we're going to do that. It's also important to know that if that breaks off and the cord goes back into the starter mechanism on the manual pull, that you need to make sure it has lots of spring on it. You need to wind that until it's got lots of spring to it. When I went over to my Toro dealer, they said, yeah, make sure you wind that and get lots of spring, and then you could just make sure that it'll pull the whole distance out. So do that. I guess it's time to fix the starter, this gear that I went and bought a genuine. This is actually a Briggs & Stratton. Now, I have heard on the internet that you can buy these replacements, and some of them are far inferior to other ones. So this is a genuine, still made in China, but it's genuine, and we will now put that on the starter. Okay, so when you put this together, there is a gasket that goes in there, and I'm not showing you because it's a pain in the butt, because I went ahead and put everything together and then forgot the gasket, and then maybe boogered this up just a little bit because it latches when you put it together, and I had to take it apart and put the gasket back in. I had to use my little jeweler's screwdriver, but anyway, it's all put together and now ready to go back on. I'm a lazy guy. I did not even disconnect it from the starter switch up there, because I like to do things as quickly as possible. Alright, well, I already forgot the spring, so make sure you put the spring in first. Oh no, the spring goes there. Spring goes there. That all goes like that. And then we have a new spring. And then we have a new part that goes on the end on here. And believe it or not, they did not give us a new C-clamp thing. And I'm going to put the camera down while I put that on, because I need two hands. Make sure when you put this end piece on that this goes just exactly like this. so then your little C-clip thing will fit right in there. I use the old end, I'm going to call it a washer thing, but it's got the indentation in it. I use that to push down on that C-ring in order to get it to seat. And now that looks like it's going to work nice. Maybe I'll lubricate this a little, I don't know. I think I will. Okay, here's the moment of truth. We're going to hit the button. Here we go. Looks good. Okay, it goes right down there. 2 bolts in very bad spots. Alright, I've got the starter back in there, all cinched down. Now, always make sure you've got everything tight, but not too tight where you're going to strip anything out. And make sure you do, because if you don't, things will rattle apart. Now, I have to take, this is the power for the electric start, the 220, you know, the 110 electric start. I need to put that on that 1 bolt right there to hold it in place. Just make sure you put everything away. Don't go too fast, because the last thing you want to do is throw parts off in the snow, because you'll never find them, not until next spring. Alright, looks like we got it all put back together here. Our electric line is going to stay in place. The fuel line looks good. Everything, it seems to be cinched down. Oh, maybe did I check those? I might check those head nuts and make sure that they're tight. But I think I'm ready to put the bottom cover on. That's this dirty thing, which is going to go underneath here and then go up with 2 nuts that hold it on. Probably should have told you this at the beginning, but it's important to get a deep socket set, because some of the places you've got to have deep sockets. Anyways, I think while I've got it in this position, I'll put a little grease on there, because it's always nice when things work well. What's that? Oh, that's when I was trying to get one of the bolts off of the chute. Man, that was a nightmare. I actually ended up using a hacksaw getting that out. This one right here. I just used my plain old regular wheel bearing grease and put it on there, and now it actually feels a lot better. Okay, next we're going to do back panel. One thing to know is don't break this lever on the carburetor, because you have to buy a whole new carburetor. Found that out at my local Toro dealer. Can I do this with one hand? Looks like I can. Look at that. So, and then there's our screws. So, oh, there it goes, right there, and there. And we'll put our screws in, and that's on. Alright, I put a little more grease just because a little more lubrication's always good. So, now we're ready to put this top on. Can I do it with one hand? Looks like we go like this, throw that in there. Oh, I gotta take the fuel cap off, and that'll go back on. I managed to do that whole repair with a full tank of gas, as you can see in there. Supposedly you're supposed to drain the tank, but this is pit stop. We're trying to do this quick, although there's no such thing as quick when it comes to a Toro snowblower. Alright, this screw's the one that took me all the time right here. You see it stripped out, and I ended up having to use a hacksaw to get that son of a gun off of there. It was one of the 3 chute screws or bolts, whatever we're going to call it. So we've got a new one, and so we've got the 3. That's the last thing we have to do. Just put that on, it looks like. Okay, we are back together. I just want to show you, these are all of the tools that I needed. You need a lot of different ones, and you've got to have some long ones, which I know I've already said. So anyways, we will now give it a try. I'm just going to assume it works. There's our new pull cord, etc., etc. And it's now like 1 degree outside. We're going to go do a little bit of snow blowing. I'm going to lose all my humidity just to show you. Here we go. I didn't try that earlier, so it worked beautiful. Okay,